Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica and today I will be doing some decluttering. I wanted to show you a little bit of my beauty room. It's not really a beauty room, it's like half of a walk-in closet. And by half of a walk-in closet I mean like literally a walk-in closet. Yes, so I have some products that are out. It's just like everything's messy. The floor has makeup stains on it, and I also happen to store like some other things in here. This is the closet that we don't use. I decided to put like a little makeup area in this corner. This is my backdrop. It is paper, so it is wrapping paper. It's very thick wrapping paper though, and it's held by thumbtacks. This is what you guys don't see. And my makeup drawers are here, so this holds all my makeup, and there's actually, I mean, there is something in there, but that doesn't really hold any makeup. And I wanted to go through and film a declutter kind of vlogging style. I didn't know if I should do no talking, but I figured if I'm doing a declutter I'd want to talk a little bit. Like, look at this. This is the lighting I use for my videos and it's so bad. You guys don't see this, but I've had this since I was in, I believe, middle school. So since I was at least 12, so it's been like over half my life, and it just keeps breaking. My mom was trying to get rid of it, and I told her to give it to me because we don't have light, like ceiling fixtures at our place. And we were using this, and now it's in this closet for lighting. I do have a ceiling light in this closet, as you can see. Let me just turn it off. This does work. Ta-da! Yeah, so I'm going to be using this lighting for this video, and hopefully I'm going to do this quickly because it is getting hot. I have my ring light here that I barely use, so let me get set up. So I don't know how much you can see. This is just like a test run, but this is my desk. There's some powder right in this corner. I need to wipe down my desk, and I'm probably going to keep all the boxes in the back. I'm going to move this cotton pad holder. Isn't this cute? Got it from Daiso. And then I'll go through all my products. I do have some stored in there. That's my everyday makeup. This is my skincare. And then these drawers are my everything else. So I'm going to show you guys what is in my everyday makeup stash thing. I guess these things won't really be decluttered, but I have this in the corner. So I have my current setting spray, the Benefit Professional. I have my Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream in the shade number 25. I'm actually going to be decluttering this. So this is the first thing I'm going to be getting rid of. So I'm going to set it to the side. And this cap belongs to the Professional. I just have it separate because it's annoying to take off two caps every time I need to set my makeup. I have my Romand liquid lipstick, but I think it's supposed to be like more of a blurring lipstick. I don't know. I like it. In 05 Witty. And then I have my current Project Pan lip gloss. This is a bit of a spoiler. It won't be too much of a spoiler. I'm almost done with it. I have my nail polish I'm trying to work on. As you can see, there's some progress, not too much. I have my powder. This is Ben Nye and Fair. I don't really like this that much. I feel like I need to put on a lot, and then it does look a bit powdery, but it does not set otherwise. And I set my primer. That's the only thing I set, which sounds so stupid. But I need it to mattify my skin and keep my skin matte the whole day. But if I use sunscreen, I don't need it. So I'm thinking I can just get rid of both my primers and powders if I just use sunscreen. And then I have my Milani eyeshadow primer. This is supposed to be a dupe for Urban Decay, and it's great. I have my, I forgot I had this here, Tony Moly Ferment Snail Lip Treatment Stick. It's basically a chapstick. It does not smell like anything. I have this lipstick I made in China, but this is what it looks like. It's very pretty. And then I have my MAC Velvet Teddy lipstick. I did not work on this at all, so I need to put it away, but there you go. I need to put it here so I remember. And then in the back I have like my stick products. So over here I have, these are all eyeliners, I think. Yeah, so we have two from Club Cleo. They're both brown. I love them. Well, I love this gel one. This liquid one's okay. And then I have an Uzu yellow eyeliner. It is not that good. I think just Asian eyeliners, like liquid liners, are not very pigmented. Like if you have eyeshadow on, it doesn't really glide over it, but this one does. And then I have two of the Too Faced eyeliners as well. Over here I have my mascara from Heroin Make. I need to get rid of this. I've had it open for over 6 months and I barely wore it, but it's been over 6 months. I've been having issues with eye makeup recently. It's not from this because I have not been wearing this, but I don't want to risk it. And then I have my NYX brow pencil. This is the second to last one I have. Really like these. They don't make them anymore. I have the D-Up eyelash, or not eyelash primer, but eyelash glue. Apparently this is very strong. And then I have my Glossier Boy Brow, which I think I'm starting to run out of, which is good because I don't like this and I'm trying to pan it. So that was everything in this little container here. It's dirty, but I don't think I'm going to wipe it down because I wiped it down recently, and this is a declutter, not a cleaning video. That will be a different video. So I'm just going to put everything back in. So I have my Too Faced Hot Cocoa Bronzer. This is in a project pan. I don't want to open it and show you what's in it. I have my NARS Blush in Deep Throat. I am almost out of this. And then I have NARS Taj Mahal. I should probably put this away. I'm not really reaching for it, but this is what it looks like. It's orange. It's a pretty blush, but definitely need to mix it because it can be a little bit too orange. And then I have my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Infinity Powder in the second drawer. And this is what it looks like. I will show you this one because there's not that much progress on it. And I also have my NARS Summer Solstice Highlighting Duo from, was it 2 or 3 years ago at this point? I don't know, it's been a while. But I have this. I really like NARS, as you can tell. Wow, I seem to like controversial brands. NARS, Too Faced, and Hourglass. And then my last palette in here is from Hourglass. It is from 2020. And it is their Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpture palette. Now let's get into the declutter. I'm going to try and go category by category because that makes the most sense. But you will not see like all my blushes laid out and all my bronzers. You will not see the ones that I just talked about, but you'll see like everything else. So starting with primers, I only have this primer from Bobbi Brown. I'm currently working on it in a project pan. It is the Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I'm using this as a morning moisturizer as well because it's like a 2-in-1. I'm not decluttering this, but after I'm done with this, I'm not buying any more primers. So it just lives up here because it's a moisturizer, and all my skincare lives right here because I wanted to save space in the bathroom. I'm actually going to do eyeshadows next because my eyeshadow drawer is preventing me from opening all the other drawers. So I'm gonna lay them out. I'm going to be looking at my eyeshadows like colorful versus neutral because I don't think I could just open, or like with the singles, I don't think I could open it and be like, yeah, I don't want this. Let me check another palette to see if I have that color in there, when I was just going by like singles, quads, and then the full palette. So I'm gonna get started with the first one. This is from Urban Decay. This is their Naked Wild West palette. And I'm looking at it like, oh, you know, I really like the shade Laredo here, but the rest of this palette, I don't know what it is with Urban Decay, but I don't really like their formula that much. Or maybe mine are just getting older, so it's not as nice, if you know what I mean. Like, the formula's not there. So I'm gonna declutter this because I'm looking at this shadow right here, and I'm pretty sure I have it in another palette. So yeah, it hurts a little because I bought a lot of Urban Decay palettes at once because it was like in a bundle for 50% off, and I thought it was a good deal, but I didn't reach for it for a while because I had so much makeup. And then when I was swatching this recently to film a Panda's eyeshadows, I didn't like the formula. Like, it changed. It's like really dry, and I have newer palettes that I would rather get use out of, and maybe there was a reason that the palettes are 50% off. So I'm getting rid of this one, even though I really like some of the shades in here, like Burrito. That's the only one that comes to my mind right now, but I remember saying when I was younger that this palette had like shades I would wear. Like, this gray is nice, Laredo is nice, Tex is like nice for a pop of color, and Ghost Town, like I could smoke it out and do like a nice copper look with some of the other metallics in here. It's not really helping with the decluttering mindset to like be like, oh yeah, I could do all this with this palette, but I think it's just time to let it go. I don't like the formula of Urban Decay that much, and I don't think I'll be purchasing their eyeshadows again in the future unless it's like a different formula. Just grabbing whatever. My Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette, this is actually a repurchase, and I got it for free because I purchased it during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale when it was half off. This is what mine looks like. It is a nice palette. It smells like chocolate. It smells delicious. But I actually decluttered this the first time I had it because my eyes were getting irritated from wearing this. I liked the formula enough to buy it a second time. The same problem's been happening to me, like my eyes are getting irritated wearing it. And I thought it was because it was expired, but it turns out there's an ingredient in here. It's like artificial sugar, because if you lick this, it's actually sweet. It's just time for it to go. The formula, like the mattes are fine. It's just the shimmers, the metallics are not, and I don't think I'll be buying this again. There will not be a third time unless I'm gifted it, and then, well, I don't think I would take it even if I was gifted it. I wish that the metallics didn't mess up my eyes, but I think for metallics I prefer the pat formula. So I guess I'll just talk about this palette next. This is my Pat McGrath palette from, when is this from? 2-3 years ago. This is the Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey palette. I don't know if it was her first big 18 pan palette, if I could open it. And I got one for my sister-in-law as well. This is what mine looks like. Very pretty. And I am not getting rid of this. You can pry it from my cold dead hands. I love the formula of this, and the metallics on here, if you apply it with your finger, it looks amazing, and if you apply it with a brush, it looks just as amazing. I'm decluttering a lot of my colorful eyeshadows, but I'm going to keep this one because I really like the formula, and it's not completely colorful. Like, there's only what, this shade, and this shade are like super colorful. The rest of them pretty neutral. So this is going to the keep pile. I'm just gonna put it right here. I have nowhere else to put it. And then my Too Faced Italian Spritz palette. This is, when did I get this? I don't remember. Last year. My newest Too Faced palette, and it's not that new. And this is what it looks like. But I don't know if you can tell, the metallics here are not as good as chocolate gold. Like, look at the hard pan on that. Ugh. And applying it with your finger is like damn near impossible. So the metallics in here are like whatever, but Too Faced almost always kills it with the mattes. Oh my god, this palette smells so good. I'm keeping this one because it is relatively new, and there's some shades in here that are not in my Pat palette, and I'm going to be getting rid of another colorful eyeshadow palette, but I may think of getting rid of this one in the future. It's not super colorful, but like the mattes are the best part of this palette, and there's a lot of non-mattes in here, if you know what I mean. I just don't want to be decluttering for the sake of decluttering. I still reach into this. I don't love all of it, so I think maybe in a year or so I'll be ready to part with it. Especially after I use up like the light blue in here, the purple in here. Not use up, but like use it more. And then we have my Milani Gilded Pastels palette. I'm going to be decluttering this. At the beginning of the year, my goal was to hit pan in every eyeshadow, but this palette is a bit too light for me. I don't know if you saw my wash tan earlier. It's pretty bad, but also like I did get rid of some shades in here that were too light for me. So like Ghosted and Deep Like and Meet Cute and Swipe Right. And this is very powdery. It is like more of a drugstore formula anyways. I did hit pan in a few of these shades, and I was working towards hitting pan on more of them, but I don't really reach into this palette. And if I want a colorful eyeshadow, I'll just reach into one of my other colorful palettes that I'm keeping. So this one is probably going in the trash. It's a bit old. I did want this really badly, but I think I've just changed. I'm not really into colorful eyeshadows anymore. I think if I want a colorful shade in the future, I have to just get a single of it or something. But I don't think that will happen. I've been like not super interested in colorful eyeshadows for a while now. And then I have my Naked Urban Decay. I always read this wrong. Why did they write it like this? Urban Decay Naked Cyber Palette. I was so excited to get this palette, and I thought my husband would like the packaging of it. Not that he cares, but like he was just like, whatever about it. This is a very pastel palette. And what is your girl? She's not pastel friendly right now. Ooh, it's pretty. But, okay, like I said, I don't really like Urban Decay's formula. This is the shade I was talking about earlier, the blue reddish shift that you see in a lot of palettes. It has quite a dip in it now that I look at it. But if I'm looking at this and being really honest with myself, I am not really going to reach into it for anything. This looks too light. So does this. Okay, let me just, this looks too light. And I don't like red eyeshadow. So I should just get rid of it. It does look very pretty, but like that's not going to do anything for me. I don't remember how old this is. I think maybe 3 years old. And then we have my Milfy. God, I like, why did they name it that? But this is my, I don't even know if this has a name, Claude Monet eyeshadow palette from their collection, their Claude Monet collection. And I don't remember what this painting is called. But it's really cute. It looks like a little book on the side, and it looks like a picture frame on the front. As you can see, you're supposed to collect them. It was the only one I saw, and I decided to get it because the inside, can you tell I haven't used it? I was like, oh, this is perfect for travel, but like, I'm not going to travel with this. I'm keeping it at home where it's safe. There's there's two like multi-metallic shades, and then the rest of them are, oh, this one's not metallic either, it's satin. The rest of them are matte. And I'm going to be really honest, I don't think I'm really going to reach for this that much, but I'm going to keep it because I bought it while I was in Japan. I think Yes Style sells this as well. It's really cute, but Asian eyeshadows are like in a different league than Western eyeshadows, and they tend to be lighter. So I don't know how often I'll wear this. I will try to reach for it when I remember to, but for now it just serves as like a memory of my honeymoon last year. I will wear it in the future. Just for now, I'm like, I don't really want to touch it. And then, you know, what happened to the Urban Decay shadows is probably going to happen to this. I don't think I'm going to keep this forever because I'm sure when I get older and I have kids, they're going to find this and destroy it. And when you have kids, you cannot place too much value on your belongings because it will get destroyed. I guess if you have pets too, that also could happen. So I'm just trying not to put too much value on materialistic things. And now we're back to my two Sydney Grace palettes. I love their formula. I just don't like the colors I picked, which is sad because they're quite expensive, and shipping is not free. I guess I could drive to where they are, but it's so far. It's in Oroville. I actually had a roommate in college from there. I have two of them. I'm just gonna open them both up so I can see what I have. So as you can see, haven't really used them, and it's kind of like, what's the point? I actually started with these two when I was going to do my declutter, and then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna use this, I'm not gonna use this. But then I was like, wait, I can't just do it like this because I don't know what I own. So I'm going to be going through them and seeing what to declutter. So I believe this batch is older than this batch. I'm gonna open this up. I do have a like yellow orange in this palette, but it looks more bright than this one. Although I will say this shadow does appear brighter on the lids than it does in the pan. I don't know if I have a duplicate shadow because it kind of looks like I did get two grays. I have so many grays. What the heck? And then I have a purple here, but I'm sure I have a purple in here as well. Oh, no, I don't. Or the purple is right here, but it's not this purple. How often am I going to wear this? I haven't reached for it in like forever anyways. And I think I have a purple in my other palette. My Huda Beauty palette. Well, it's not quite the same. Oh, it looks the same in this lighting though. Is that brown? I don't know. I don't really love purple like on me. So I'm going to be taking this one out. Let me set this aside. I don't know how I'm going to dispose of these properly. I have a lot of grays, but this one is very cool toned. Oh, I guess I should say the name of this purple. It is called Pardoned Completely. And then this gray looks a little bit, too dark and too cool toned. If I were to keep a gray, I'd rather keep this one. Is this even gray? This is Thunderbird. I've barely used it. I don't really wear grays too often. As you can tell, I don't really reach into this too often. I am going to keep this shade, which is, I believe it's Pumpkin Roll. Oh, I got it right. Yes, this is Pumpkin Roll. And I do love me a yellow eyeshadow. I think that's my exception to colorful eyeshadows. And then I have this shade right here called Opulence. This palette is so dirty. Look at my hands. I'm going to swatch this one actually. Oh, that was so nice. Silver? I thought this was like a duochrome. But it looks like it's just silver. But look at how like pigmented that is. I just did a little bit, and I should really buy more Sydney Grace eyeshadows, but like I just should not be buying makeup in general. I don't think I'm going to keep this either because I don't know what the hell I was thinking buying this. I don't really wear silver. And then these two greens, I'm going to get rid of them because I look terrible in these greens. Like in these muddy khaki colored greens. Oh, this one's called Ivy League. I guess I should swatch this one. Ooh, that's so nice. Yeah, it makes me look dead. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Oh, maybe it says Bravo. I'm not gonna swatch this one. I know it's like an army green and I don't look good in those. Moss. Okay, this one's definitely like a forest green, which I'm sure also there's a little bit of sparkle in it because I was touching the pan, but it's just ignore it in the swatch. That is also a no. And this one is Wonderful World. I'm probably also going to get rid of this one. Look at all these like darker, grungier colors I'm not keeping. I think I'm also going to be getting rid of this shade, which is Moon Landing. I would swatch it, but it's just gray. So I already know what it's going to look like. I think I'm just not really into these shadows right now. Like, I prefer a more taupey color if I'm going for cool tone, but gray is just a little bit too cool for me. At least taupe has some pink in it, or like a little bit of red in it to warm it up a little bit. I'm also going to be getting rid of these two shimmer shades right here because I don't really wear them. I love green. Green is my favorite color, but I just don't look good in green. So I'd rather wear green on my body, like as in clothing, or see plants around my house that are green. But on me, no. This is a duochrome, and I believe, is this Red Chameleon? Oh, I still remember the name. Look at how pretty that is. Ooh. Sydney Grace eyeshadows, like the formula is the best. But like, I'm saying that as I'm getting rid of all of them, but I just picked the wrong colors for me. Actually, you know what? This one's nice. I'm keeping this one. But the green gotta go. This green, I already know will not look good on me. So this is just called Levy. I had a cat named Levy. I was fostering him. But yeah, it's very pretty. It just does not look good on me. And there's no point in keeping something that just looks nice, but you will never use. Kills me a little bit, but I'm going to be getting rid of these shades over here and then keeping these three. It's all because I swatched Red Chameleon that I'm keeping it. So I'm going to clean up my hands and the swatches on the back of my hand so I can get ready for the next batch. So these are my neutral eyeshadows that I have remaining, and I have these two colorful palettes right here for comparison, so I know, because there's some neutral shades in them, I'm just keeping it here for reference because I think there's some things in here that I would like to compare to here. But I'm going to start with my quads and my singles. So these are my Kaja bento stacks. I love them. I only take them traveling with me. I don't really like wearing them on a day-to-day basis, even though they are very nice. It's just because I don't want to hit pan on it and then it cracks when I'm traveling. So I have Peach Madeline, which is the newest one to me, and Glowing Guava. And these were both presents, actually. I've never purchased one myself, but they are really pretty. So this is Glowing Guava. It has, I think, two mattes, so like, or no, two shimmers. So the first one's a matte and the next two are shimmers. And whenever I travel with these, I use my fingers to apply it. Oh, never mind. One metallic and two shimmers. And then there's a little mirror right here, but it's kind of useless. And then Peach Madeline looks like this. So I believe this one has two shimmers and one matte. This second shimmer. And this is the matte. So I think this one is better for when I have tan skin, and then this one is better for when I'm lighter. I'm keeping both of them because I like them so much. And then I have these two singles. So this one's from MAC. This is the MAC Soba. I remember hearing about this from Bub's Beauty when I was very young in high school. And she was like searching everywhere for Soba, and she only found it in the States. And so when I was starting my, I don't know if it was like second job out of college, because, or like second like big girl job, I bought this. I think it was. When I started one of my jobs, I purchased this to wear and, you know, remember my first day of work with. It's very nice. So it's not just like a matte brown. There's actually some gold shimmers in it, and you can just wear it as a one and done shade. And then I have my Suzanne eyeshadow that I bought in Japan. Did I get it in Japan or Taiwan? I don't know. If for those of you who don't know, there's a lot of Japanese influence in Taiwan, so you can actually get a lot of Japanese brands from there. But this is a single shadow, and it's very shimmery like this. And the color is 9. Okay, cool. It's 209A. I can't read Japanese. I can't even read Chinese. So, rip. I'm going to swatch this one. Ooh, that's very nice. It looks like one of those Too Faced eyeshadows that are not like that nice, you know what I mean? Like it crumbles. But I'm gonna swatch on the back of my hand. Oh, okay. That's better than I thought. I was debating decluttering this because I thought that it was going to be too pale for me. And also I didn't know how the formula was because I haven't reached for this in quite a while. But I don't know if you can see that. It's actually quite nice. I got this because it's similar to my favorite eyeshadow, my Coffee Cat palette. I'm always trying to look for like dupes for it or replacements for it because I wasn't going to be able to replace it. That was a limited edition palette and I don't shop from Wet n Wild anymore. This isn't it, but it is very similar. So I'm going to keep this as well. These are the remaining palettes I have. I think I got rid of 4 colorful eyeshadow palettes earlier. I'm keeping these 2 and then a quad. So wow, that is quite a lot. I already know by looking at this which ones I'm going to be decluttering. God, why is Urban Decay's formula so bad? I'm sure someone would kill me for saying that, but like, it's just not as good as I thought it was going to be. Like, they had a cult following when I was younger, but it feels like no one really talks about Urban Decay as much these days. Kind of see why. So I'm just going to be talking about these 2 because I'm going to be decluttering them. But this is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded, so they discontinued Naked 1 and came out with this one instead. And it has like an orchid, 3 orchid, like not motif, but print on the front, and it's velvety. I decided to get this in the pack because like Mel Thompson really liked hers, and I was like, it's got all the shades I like. And this is what mine looks like. Barely used, as you can tell. This is what happens when you buy a ton of eyeshadows at once. The blur is pretty used. Yeah. The only reason why I'm decluttering this is because the formula is not that good. Like, I have so many other palettes, even though I'm going to be decluttering this again. This is the second time I'm decluttering this. Because I recluttered it back into my life. I didn't find it a home. I'm just going to be getting rid of this. I guess I should go into depth. Looking at it, I'm not like as enamored as I was when I was deciding to buy it, for obvious reasons. But Bribe right here is not matte. It has some shimmers in it, and that does not look good on my lids. Barely Baked and Angel Fire are too light for me. Retro's fine. Reputation is a pretty color. Burn, I feel like you can find this copper color in a lot of other palettes, especially the ones I have, and they're very similar. Endgame, I have a dark brown matte in my pat palette, and it's darker than this. I also struggle to use shades like this sometimes because you need so little of it, and I just put it in my outer corner. And then Dream Eater has the most ass formula. It's very chunky and it falls off your lids, so you need an eyeshadow glue, like a metallic glue, to hold it in place, and I do not have a metallic glue. Distilled, this color is fine as well, but I'm pretty sure I have a shade like this in my Lorac Unzipped palette. And then these remaining shades are fine. I prefer more neutral browns than warm toned browns. Blur, I think I tried using it up in a project pan because you can see a little bit of a dip in it, but this formula is just so dry, and I think it's been like I've had it too long. Even though I haven't had it that long, I just don't know what happened to the formula. It's not good. When I swatched it, it was dry and crumbly, so getting rid of this one. Again, this is really sad and kind of eye-opening to see so many of my palettes, like the formula changing on me. I thought that would happen more often to my lip glosses, but that's only happened to me once with my lip gloss, which was the Fenty one, and also because there's a heat wave. This is my Naked Urban, oh god, I did it again, Urban Decay Naked Honey palette, and I love yellow eyeshadows. As we saw earlier, I kept both, even though I have another one in one of my colorful palettes, like both my singles. But this palette is not yellow, it is brown. This palette barely looks used, but it's just not yellow enough for me. I kind of knew that going into getting it, but it was included in that bundle from the 50% off bundle, I think. It looks boring. It is a neutral palette, but like, it's supposed to be yellow. Why isn't it yellow? It's brown. And like, these two shades look the same. These two shades look the same. These two will probably look the same on my lid. This dark brown, I mean, it's not that dark, so it's fine. It'll be a little bit easier to blend out. I feel like you can only make 2 looks with this palette. Like, a gold and a copper look. And I'm just not interested in keeping this because of formula. I remember it was this one in particular. It was so bad. This is not mold, by the way, it's powder. If you see dust on my eyeshadow palettes, it is probably powder. But yeah, this was the reason why I decided to do this declutter, because after swatching, what shade was it? I think I was swatching either Honey or Head Bitch in Charge or Queen. I was like, what the fuck? This formula is so bad now. Okay, so we have some eyeshadow palettes remaining, and I don't think I'm decluttering any of these because I love them. And so this is my Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette. This is relatively new to me. I think I got it for half off last year. And look at this. This looks almost the same as Reloaded. So I did buy this because either rose gold or sparkling sand looks almost the same as just Brew It. I don't even know if that was in the shot. But they look almost the same as just Brew It. It's not the same. It is definitely more sparkly. But I was on a search for a dupe a long time ago. So that's why I have so many like neutral palettes like this. And I mean, this is pretty new to me. I think for half off it's a good deal, but we'll see. It does have that questionable Too Faced metallics, but I know Too Much Tash loves hers. It is a very nice neutral palette. I'm hoping to get a lot of use out of it, even though I did get it for half off, and I have kind of fallen out of love with Too Faced's metallic formula, but I haven't used this one that much, so I'm hoping that I am wrong by like looking at it, because like just looking at it, it doesn't look like the chocolate gold eyeshadow, but we'll see. I think I can get a lot of use out of this, except this last panel is a little bit, it looks like it'll be a little bit harder for me to use. And then we have my Lorac. Which one is this? I think it's just unzipped. Palette is really dirty. That's how you know it's been loved. And I bought this because I thought Unbelievable would be a good dupe again for Just Brew It from my Wet n Wild palette. Coffee Cat palette. Oh god, this has been dirty for forever. I just have not cleaned it. But I don't have makeup wipes. I only have Clorox wipes, and I'm not going to wipe this with a Clorox wipe. So it just is stained there for now. But I really like this palette. I like how the brown is not too dark, and a lot of these in like the shimmer shades in here are good one and dones. I wish they would bring back their like mega palettes, but the Mega Pro palettes, but they don't have them anymore. And I'm just going to use this one until the packaging breaks or something. I really like this. It's perfect. It's like good for going to the office. You can do nice party looks with it too that aren't, I mean, you could do a smoky eye with it. I guess if you were to ask me which of these two I would keep the Lorac, because I've used it more, so I know it a little bit more, but this is new, so I'm not going to get rid of it just because I'm keeping this one. And the shades are different. This is more cool tone, and then this one I feel like is a little bit more warm toned, and it has different shades in it. Okay, and then I have my Perfect Diary Piggy palette. This I bought in Japan, and while I was on my honeymoon, and look at this. Oh, I have pan. I worked all of last year to try and hit pan on this palette, but I couldn't. But this year when I used this shade a few times, I finally hit pan on it. So that's why, even though it is relatively new, like by relatively new I mean like a year old-ish. Well, okay, it's been more than that. It looks pretty used. Like, you can see dents in Roseate and Rosy and Joviality. I think I've used every shade except Scent. That shade's way too light for me. And Dewy I also have not used. But yeah, this is a nice palette. I'm keeping it. Reminds me of Japan, and I'm glad that it works for me. And then I have my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. My brother bought this for me for my birthday last year. Every time I see that, I get sad because this is what happened when I dropped my palette. I caught it, but in that corner. I like the Huda Beauty formula because it is not super pigmented. It is easy to blend. You can build it up if you really wanted to. And we have this, what is it, Petri dish shade in here. I don't even know what color that's supposed to be, but I'm just going to avoid touching it for now. This barely looks used because I've been reaching for my other palettes. I'm on a no-buy this year, so it's not like I'm going to declutter all this and then buy it. I'm decluttering all this because I realized that my Urban Decay palettes are just ass right now. So this is going to be fun to edit. I'm going to need a coffee for this one tomorrow. So I got rid of, I only got rid of 2. And I'm keeping 4 of them. 4 of the neutral ones, and I'm keeping all of the other, is this colorful? I don't consider it colorful because I would wear it to the office. I guess it is for some people, but for me, if it's like blue, green, yellow, purple, that is like something you wouldn't wear to the office, it's not neutral. Glad that I can finally close my palette drawer. It's not that it was overflowing, it was just it was badly organized. So now I can close it and open my other drawers to sort out my stuff. So let's do that. So as a quick reminder, this is what I'm going to be decluttering. I have my Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. I'm probably also going to be getting rid of some brushes that are like falling apart and I no longer like. But yeah, so these are just the makeup products. This is too old. I don't really wear foundation. It is summer. And I'm definitely not going to be wearing this. And then this mascara is just, it's been over 6 months, so getting rid of these 2. And these are the singles from Sydney Grace that I will be decluttering. I'm going to ask my sister-in-law if she wants this, but they're very nice. I swatched them earlier. I'm surprised at how well they still perform. It's just that they're not the colors I want. I always have a hard time picking the shades off of their website. I have decluttered like more Sydney Grace eyeshadows than I would have liked in the past, but I do really like the formula. It is amazing. I just wish I was better at picking colors off of a screen. And then getting rid of my Too Faced Chocolate Gold because it's makes my eyes irritated, and it's the second one I've owned that does that. My Naked Honey palette, Naked Reloaded, Naked Cyber, and Naked Wild West. The Naked formula is just, I don't really like it. And then my Milani Guild Pastel palette, it looks pretty demolished, so I'm not going to be giving this away to anyone either. And yeah, so I was able to cut my eyeshadow palette collection down by a significant amount. I'm not upset that I'm getting rid of this. I'm actually quite relieved because now I can focus on the palettes I like. So that's it for this declutter. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and my Halloween dog pajamas because I don't have any other pants I can wear right now. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!